Welcome to The Global Girlfriend.
Shall we book a trip to Delhi, India?
Yep. All right, everybody. Welcome back to The Global Girlfriend. My name's Brianna,
And my name's Morgan.
and we are your hosts for The Global Girlfriend. We are a podcast all about women and travel, and we are so excited that you have joined us here today. We have a super fun episode for you. We are talking about the glorious type of travel, one of our favorite types of travel. We are talking about the road trip. There is truly nothing better than just like being in a car with the windows down, music up with all of your friends. Maybe there's an open road ahead of you. Maybe you're ripping through the mountains or cruising down beside the ocean. But there is nothing better than just being in a car with your friends and hitting the open road, going wherever life takes you. Morgan and I have done a couple of road trips together. We've done road trips with partners and with other friends, and we are so excited to tell you how to maximize and have the best possible road trip experience. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, no, there is definitely something about the vibe of a road trip. And I just feel that something about being in a car feels versus an airplane feels a lot more tangible. Like you are there, you are on the road, you are in this place. And it just feels so adventurous and so tangible. Though obviously we need airplanes to get to a lot of the places we gotta go. But I do think there's something super special about doing a road trip with people you love.
Totally. Do you have like a one or two or a few like memorable road trips that really stick out in your mind when you think of the topic?
Okay, yes. Okay, I have a few. Well, one is I just got back from Spain, and so it's pretty like fresh on the memory. And my fiance and I, Danny, we did a road trip like from Madrid through the north of Spain. So it was such a blast. A couple other ones, I'll get into more details later, but a couple other ones are obviously, if you guys have listened to our previous podcast, you've heard our tales of the road trip from Albania to Bosnia and Herzegovina. That is an iconic road trip. And then there's a few more that come to mind. I've also done a pretty epic road trip with a friend where we took the ferry from Albania to Italy, drove all through the Puglia region, then took a ferry from Italy to Croatia, drove through Croatia, Slovenia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, then to Albania. So it was kind of a gigantic road trip.
So
And they've
good.
all been so fun. Yeah, what about you? What are a
I
couple ones that come to mind?
honestly very, very similar routes and like I love a European road trip. Obviously, if you guys ever want to go back, take a listen to our episode called The Power of a Girl's Trip, where we go into great detail about the most epic road trip through COVID in Bosnia.
Yeah.
Um, so we won't tell that story again, but go back and listen to it if you get the chance. I've done a couple of really great road trips. I did a road trip. I did similar to your Croatia one, but instead of taking a ferry, I just drove from Albania straight up into Croatia. We went to Dubrovnik, which was really fun. That was like a big 12-hour drive through a couple of countries, which was awesome. I've done with my sister and my parents, we did like a southern Albania, northern Greece road trip in my
Stunning.
tiny little Ford Fusion car, which was like super, super fun. That was just so nice to like go to all these different villages and stuff
Mhm.
with my family. So that was really good. I've done sisters road trips with my sisters, sort of in different places in southern Ontario, but then also in Albania, which is really fun. And yeah, and then just here in Bali, I've gone sort of North Bali sometimes with a couple friends. So I just love getting in the car with the girls and going for a road trip. So I am excited to talk about it all today.
Ah, I love that. Those all sound like such like crucial memories. Okay, so since we're on a roll with some little short stories here, do you have like a super funny moment or like one of your like a super fun or a hilarious moment that comes to mind on a road trip?
So I think this was like one time I was traveling with my partner and we were in the south of Albania, like right near the Greek border. And we got pulled over by the cops, which is like not an unfamiliar experience. A lot of times, there's road checks or whatever. And so we get pulled over, and my partner speaks Greek. I do not. And the cop was Albanian, but as you find, like in Albania, if you get close to the Greek border, people do kind of usually speak both languages. And so then they start talking to each other in Greek, and I have no idea what's going on. And then out of nowhere, the police officer just gets in the back of the car and sits down, like in our car, and then we start driving. And I was like, what what is going on? No one's
Gosh,
explaining
wait,
no one is explaining
this is
anything to me,
amazing.
and there's this Albanian police officer in the back of the car, and I was like, what,
Oh
like
my
what is
goodness.
going on? And like, I don't know, being from North America, like, there's a certain energy around police officers, and I'm like, what, like, are we going to jail? What's going on here? Anyway, turns out this guy literally just needed a lift. Like, I don't know, his like patrol buddy left him somewhere or something. I have no idea, but he literally just needed to drive into the next town. And so and so we gave him a ride. And then he got out and this all got explained to me, and I was just like, what is going on? So yeah, that was a very, very random moment on a road trip.
Okay, that is truly hilarious. I can like picture the scene, and you're just sitting there, and you're like, "What?"
Like, why is there a cop in the back seat? What about you? Do you have a hilarious road trip moment that comes to mind?
Okay, I'm trying to think of one. I can't think of one. That one got me. Your story, that was awesome. Okay, well, one comes to mind, and I feel like we might have shared this on an episode as well, but I can't remember. But you and I were going to Theth, which is in the Albanian Alps up north, and we're like ready to do like a quick little like mountain weekend. I think we were just doing like one night, just a little trip to the mountains, and we were like ready to get out of the city, and literally like 5-10 minutes out of getting out of the city, it's like, and we're like, what is that? And we're in my little car. It's like a little Mercedes classic. I can't remember what specific type. Anywho, still available for sale in Albania if anyone wants it. Just FYI. And we're like, great. So we go to the Castrati, one of the main gas stations there, and get some gas. And we're like, what's going on? And he's like, hey, you know the story, but for the listeners,
Yeah.
he's like, hey, like, go back. We have a shop. Like, they'll take a look. And so we go back and we tell the guys, we're like, and I mean, my tire was so flat, like so flat, unbelievably flat. And he was like, oh gosh, he's like, well, where are you guys going? And we're like, oh, we're going to Theth. And he's like, I'm from the north, like I'm from near Theth. And we're like, no way. And he's like, listen, you actually need all new tires. I'm gonna give you some new used tires. So I got a whole set of 4 tires. What was it, like 15 euro or something like
Yeah.
that?
It was
It was literally like
insanely
15 euro.
cheap. It
He was
was like
giving us a deal.
€3 a tire or something.
Yeah, he was like so excited we were going to the north, and then we were like, what? I mean, we were on top of the world. We're like, we got 4 new tires for 15 euros. Like, nothing can stop us. And
Nothing
so
could
like,
stop us.
so yeah, so that was like insane, but also just so comical that all that happened, and then we were thriving.
Also, I thought it was so funny that you and I didn't even really realize like what was wrong. Like the car just started shaking and we're like, "Oh, that's so weird." So we literally stopped and got gas first. Like we didn't even get out and look at the tires, nothing. And then it was like a guy had to be like, ladies, your tire is messed up."
Yeah.
And I loved that guy too. He was just like so committed to us going to see his hometown that he was like, "We will get these girls there." Oh my god, that was
Oh,
hilarious.
those are the best. Those are the
Best. If
best
you need
stories.
new used tires, guys, go to Albania.
To the car shop behind the Castrati off the main highway.
Off the main highway, 2 minutes out of Tirana.
There's no addresses, just know what we're talking about.
No. All right, let's talk about how to have a super successful road trip. So I think one of the things that is like a real make or break how is the road trip going to go is just making sure that everybody has a job and that everybody does their job well. What are some of
Yes.
your personal favorite jobs that you like to do on a road trip?
Okay, yes, I feel like we're all about the roles. Like, let's designate roles because it's really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, ones that I like. Well, I feel like with like a lot of my friends, I end up taking like being a driver role. So with my like fiance, he's been driving mostly, especially because we're renting manual. So he's been
Yeah.
the driver role. But like mostly, I like to take. I love to be a driver. And so that's a role I usually take. Or like switch it up. I feel like when we've done road trips, we've kind of switched it up as drivers.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to have a driver. So, and I think like talking about it with your friend group and seeing like who, like yeah, like I feel like on like our girl trip that we did, talking about like me and you are the only ones at that time that felt comfortable being the drivers, and I think just really kind of establishing, yeah, like who likes driving, who wants to drive. But also, I have, a couple of friends who don't have driver's license, or or I have a couple of friends who we would never want them to drive. Um, so I think just kind of like understanding it, talking about it, actually going through the logistics and seeing who wants to be a driver. But anyways, that's me. What's a role that you like to do?
So very similarly, I feel like I have often been put in the driver's seat. But I don't mind driving. I don't love driving. I will say that sometimes the prospect or the thought of driving in an unfamiliar country can be quite daunting for some people. And that was definitely for me for a long time. I was very scared to drive anywhere because I grew up in a very small town in Canada. So, like, the roads very friendly there. So, sort of driving in crazy European traffic, I was like, I could never. But then I ended up buying a car with my sister who doesn't have a driver's license. So
Oh,
I was the
I didn't
main
realize
driver.
that.
Yeah, sorry to throw you under the bus, Bethan. Um, but my sister doesn't have a driver's license, so she just paid for half of it, and I drove us everywhere. It was awesome, best arrangement.
Yeah.
Um, but sorry, to get back on track. Yeah, I used to be very scared of driving internationally, and then we bought that car, and I think really push yourself, try new things because I took that leap and bought that car. I got to drive all over the Balkans, which was amazing. And my confidence grew. I think maybe before we bought the car, I was probably the friend that you didn't want to drive on the road trip, but I got better. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
I mean, I feel like you were a great driver, but I think that's so cool. Like, getting to have all this like experience to make you more confident.
Yeah, so that was really fun. So I will drive on a road trip. I also prefer a job that I take very seriously that I love is I love when I'm in charge of snacks. I love to find out what snacks people like. I like to bring a new snack. I like to go absolutely crazy with the snacks. I don't know. I saw like a meme or something that's like, if you're on a road trip and you don't look like an unsupervised 13-year-old in a candy store, you're doing it wrong. Uh,
Oh, absolutely. No, snacks are some of the most important part of you have to have them.
Yeah, so I would say I am drivers or snacks. Is there a road trip job that you haven't done or that you don't love doing or that makes you nervous?
I'm trying to think. No, I feel like in a lot of ways I'm kind of a chameleon. Like I kind of
Yeah.
blend with different roles. And I think kind of similarly with these road trip roles, I also love to be in the passenger seat and I love navigating. Like I love looking at a map and kind of seeing like, okay, what's on the way? Or like even if I'm like in Texas, like I'm like, which isn't like a proper road trip, just driving somewhere. I'm trying to like okay, add a stop, see where can I get a Rosa's bean and cheese burrito, and like make it on the way and navigate. So I also really love to be strategic and like look on Google Maps and be the kind of navigator. But
Nice. Oh my
I
God.
don't know what
That is so funny that you say that because I actually hate being the navigator. Being the navigator
really.
brings me so much stress because I feel like, if you miss that right-hand turn, then you're on the wrong road, then you got to apologize to everybody in the car because you messed up
Oh gosh.
the
Well,
directions.
that can be stressful.
And I'm going to tell you that it's the craziest thing. And I don't like, I can explain it, but I don't know if it makes sense to other people. And that's since I've moved to Indonesia. So in Indonesia, we drive on the left side of the road here. And so when I'm looking at a map in Indonesia, I know my right from my left. But if I'm giving directions in Indonesia, if we're supposed to turn right, I always say turn left. And if we're supposed to turn left, I always say turn right. And it's because I kind of have the driver mentality where, like, the big turns, because I grew up driving in North America, the big turns are the left turns and the small turns are the right turns. And
Oh yeah.
so when I'm looking at the road, I'm like, "Oh, we need to make a big turn." So I say, "Okay, turn left," but like actually it's right
Right.
because we're on the other side of the
Okay.
road. Like
Yeah, that's
I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm like, "Turn right." And like people have gotten to know and they're like, "Are you sure it's right?" And I'm like, "Oh crap, no, it's actually left."
it's left. Okay. I didn't realize that Polly drove on the left side. Wowzers.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't like navigating. It stresses me out.
okay, okay.
I think
Noted.
other important jobs that we haven't talked about, having somebody that has a great taste in music. I love something that I love about road trips is when somebody else is DJing, just like hearing what other people have saved on their favorites, or getting to know other people's music types. Like I remember when we did our epic girls road trip, I think maybe it was our friend Mommy who was DJing or it was your music or something, but there was like some Christian music that came on and both you and Mommy were like singing hard into the steering wheel to these songs. And I was like, I've never heard this song before. Like, I didn't even realize you were both so passionate about this style of music. Like, I think that's a really fun part of road trips is like hearing what's on everybody's playlist.
Oh, that's so true. You can really learn a lot about people through what different songs they have. Yeah, so I think those are like the four main roles. You know, the driver, the snack provider, or like enabler, the music person, and then the navigator. I feel like are four main roles. Sometimes you have to be more than one if you don't have four or more
If you don't
people
have
in
four
the
people in the car.
car. So you have to take on a bunch of roles.
So good. So let's talk about how to make sure that you have everything you need in the car and not too much stuff that it is uncomfortable. I think obviously snacks, the main first thing, like it's essential. You need to have snacks. You need to have music, but other things. A neck pillow, a blanket, a sweater if it gets
Mhm.
cold. Sometimes people love the
Yeah.
AC, hate the AC. So if you're in a climate diverse group, like just have something to keep yourself warm.
Mhm.
Um, those are the things. Oh, also make sure that everybody or at least one person on your phone has a lot of data on their phone. That is
Yeah.
like the worst is if you end up in a no service area or like you're in a foreign
Yeah.
country. Like at least one of y'all needs an eSIM to
Yeah.
get to where you
Oh,
need to go.
that's a good point. So yeah, you do need to communicate about that.
And download an offline map too. Like if you can download a Google map
Crucial.
in advance, because like especially I don't know if you're going to more remote places, a lot of times there's like no cell service, and so having that
Mhm.
offline map will save you.
Oh yeah, I'm passionate about that. That has saved me quite a bit. And speaking of offline things, so definitely, yeah, an offline Google Maps. And then as far as music goes, make sure you maybe download some music because same story. If you run out of service, if you're like going to the mountains, you're you're gonna want some tunage to just keep
Yep.
morale up as you're just winding through the mountains. So definitely download your podcast or the Global Girlfriend or just some music to just keep you going. And a couple
Totally.
other like essential things. Obviously, make sure you have a charging cable. I used to, and I feel like a lot of cars still have it. Like I used to even bring like the little like lighter charger thing where you stick it in the lighter thing and put your
Yeah,
USB
yeah,
in
yeah.
it. So sometimes I bring that with me, but now these days, most cars have what USB or USB C. So make sure you have something to charge up with to keep you with battery.
Absolutely. Sunglasses, you never want to be stuck on the road without a pair of sunnies. And yeah,
That's true.
just anything that you need to keep yourself entertained on a long drive. But just yeah, don't get stuck without a charger.
Absolutely. And then let's see.
Oh, let's talk about pit stops. Uh, um, places to stop. So, of course, when you're driving, it is important to stop. And I think we have been very blessed to do sort of the same road trips a couple of times. Do you have, on any of your road trips, do you have any essential places where you love to stop?
Let's see. Well, I feel like a stunning pit stop and one that I've done, a few times is on my route from Croatia to Albania. I
Yep.
love to stop in Kotor in Montenegro.
Yep.
It's like fairly easy parking, and it's a stunning city. So I love to just like go within the walls and do a quick waltz around, have a coffee. And then sometimes we've stayed overnight, and sometimes we've just popped in for a coffee.
Hmm.
I love Kotor, but in general, I love to stop in a little town or like little city for a coffee or a snack. But that's a specific one that came to mind. What about you?
Nice. I love that. So this is like a way back throwback. But when I lived in Kenya, I used to drive from Nairobi to the Masai Mara. So the Masai Mara is obviously where you go to do the safaris. So if you're ever in Kenya and you're driving to where you're doing your safari, there's a stop about halfway between Nairobi and the Masai Mara, and it's the Great Rift Valley lookout point. And so, I mean, you'll see it. There's a couple stops along the way, but you kind of go up, 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 and then you can pull off and you can have like a coffee and there's little gift shops, but like you're up so high that literally you look over the Great Rift Valley, which is like, I don't know if it's a wonder of the world, but it is an incredible view. And like, not to be stereotypical, but like in The Lion King, when Mufasa is like, Simba, everything that the light touches is your kingdom. Like you feel like you're in that moment, because you're just looking
That's
out.
amazing.
You're just looking out and you can see everything. So if you ever do that type of road trip, definitely you need to stop there.
Oh yeah, uh, noted. And on that point, like I am such an encourager of, like always stop if you want to. Like if you see a cute town, get out. Like find parking, get out. If you see an amazing lookout point, make a quick game time decision, pull over, and like take a look, take a photo, soak it in. Crucial.
Totally. And like as you're planning your road trip, of course, like because honestly, so cheesy, but like it's not necessarily
I love
about the
cheesy.
destination. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. So look up little small towns that you can stop in along the way, or lookout points, or fields and farms. I love to, like, if you're driving through farm country, like pick up some local strawberries from the sellers on the side of the road. I
Oh
think it's really
yes.
just about like sort of stopping and making it adventurous and fun.
Yeah, and so I think that like obviously there's definitely planned things and strategy you kind of have to put into a road trip, but I also think like make room for some spontaneity. So just be open to make stops because you have that's part of the journey. Like you have no idea what you're going to come across, and so be open to making the stops because I feel like
Yeah.
those random unexpected things are the ones that leave the biggest impact or like we have the remember the most and our iconic road trip that we talk about all the time. Of course we loved the skiing, of course we loved the city that we went to and all the food, whatever, but like what we always go back to and crack up about is the literal journey of the road trip.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just be open and to the possibilities of the universe and it will surprise you. I'm sure you will come back with some like hilarious and super memorable moments.
Yeah, and yeah, take lots of photos and obviously be in the moment. But I think there is always room to be in the moment and also capture it via videos and photos, and it's fun to look back on and remember the road trip.
Totally. And yeah, and you and I have never had this, but I think it is important to note that like people feel differently in cars. And so I think to not necessarily drama, but like to make sure that everybody has a good trip, like just be aware. Some people get motion sickness. Some people like to nap. Some people need to go to the bathroom every 45 seconds. Not 45 seconds, sorry, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
um, so I think it's just
yeah.
like about being a little bit flexible and open and understanding and knowing that people have different needs. And because people have different needs, oftentimes that will make the drive a bit longer. But like we said, it's all about the journey. So it doesn't really
All
matter.
about the journey, and like I feel like time and time again, typically road trips take longer than we anticipate. It's because you have no idea what's going to happen. But I like what you said. Yeah, be open, but also like don't be afraid to communicate to who you're with. Like, if you are someone who has to pee, like, don't be afraid to be like, hey guys, I'm sorry, but like, I'm a peeing machine. And I'm going to have to stop a lot. Like, are we good with this? Like, just to manage expectations. So I think, like, make sure you communicate, because otherwise it's also stressful for you if you're that person.
Yeah. And road trips are supposed to be fun. And honestly, it's kind of like it is when things go wrong. It is when things get a little bit chaotic. Like that's when the hilarious memories start to begin. So just embrace your travel
Absolutely.
style and it'll be so fun. Okay, so I guess to sort of wrap this up, that was more or less all of our some of our thoughts on road trips. We would encourage all of you guys to take a road trip. I think the main things to sort of take away are one, like road trips are a super valuable type of travel, and you should definitely prioritize them as you are making your travel plans for the year because they are so fun, and also way more affordable. Like you don't need to get on an airplane to have an incredible trip. Like just getting in the car with your girlfriends is sufficient. So I would say
Mm-hmm.
number one tip, just book a road trip. It's really fun. Number two tip, bring snacks, lots of them. Know your roles. What else? What am I
Yeah,
missing?
know your roles. Also, make sure you communicate. Like, I guess on roles as well. Communicate roles, communicate needs, communicate dreams, and that will help it all go smooth and beautifully.
And save room for spontaneity. And then we know you're going to have an incredible trip. We want to hear all about your road trips. What are some of your favorite places for road trips? Where do you like to go? Where have you been? Where are you dreaming of? So, Morgan, if people want to share their road trip stories with us, where can they find us on the internet?
Yeah, guys, come find us on social media on TikTok and Instagram at The Global Girlfriend. You can also check out our website, theglobalgirlfriend.com, and shoot us a little inquiry or email there. Yeah, we'd love to connect one-on-one via email or on good old social media.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next week with more fabulous female travel content, and we can't wait to see you then. Bye.
Yeah, bye!